Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. Before we start the show, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com. Now, let's start the show. And welcome to Speak for Yourself. Happy New Year, Marcellus Wiley here.
Happy New Year, Sal.
Oh, speak. I know you want to speak because you want that to speak for you, but
it's a new year. It's a new me, new looks, new all that.
New all that?
All that.
Oh, and a new member of Jodeci or New Edition. I don't know which group you're in, but let's get it started in Dallas.
Boys to men.
Oh, okay, even better. The Cowboys defied the odds and can win the NFC East with a Sunday loss by Washington. Dallas is 3-1 in December after an awful start to the season. During their three-game winning streak, the Cowboys are averaging, listen, Nacho, 36 points per game. And since week 11, they lead the league in takeaways. Mike McCarthy said, quote, "You get hot in December. It's the way you want to enter the playoffs." So, Dalvin, one of them. You credit Mike McCarthy for keeping the Cowboys' playoff hopes alive.
Oh.
You a clean boy.
Sal, I'm going to give Mike McCarthy, you know when you're making something great and you got to put in the ingredients and they say throw in a pinch of salt.
A pinch.
I'm going to give Mike McCarthy a pinch of credit.
Oh,
not a lot, though. Make sure you don't open up the whole jar because you might end up dumping too much credit on Mike McCarthy.
My Auntie Tosca, that's her every time in the kitchen.
I'm going to give Mike McCarthy just a pinch.
What's that dude's name?
Salt Bay.
Yeah, Salt Bay.
I'm gonna give Mike McCarthy just a pinch of salt. I'm gonna give him a pinch of credit.
Oh,
Mike McCarthy deserves some credit, but let me tell you who deserves more. I'm gonna give you 3 laps, and I'm gonna give you 3 people in 3 different orders. My first lap I'm gonna talk about is Andy Dalton. Before we get to any sort of credit for Mike McCarthy, we have to give credit where credit is due, and that is to Andy Dalton. Can we talk about the fact that Andy Dalton, since week 11, if I'm not mistaken, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 13 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. That's fewer interceptions than Mahomes, fewer interceptions than Allen, fewer interceptions than Brady. Andy Dalton, the last 6 weeks of the season, he's tied for 3rd in the NFL in interceptions. But how about them 13 touchdown passes?
How about him?
More touchdown passes than Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers,
nice,
Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson. I mean, more touchdown passes than a lot of dudes who we proclaim as some of the most prolific passers in the game of football. So I'm not going to sleep on the fact that Andy Dalton has been balling. I heard the gentleman, very intelligent gentleman on the show before us, Colin Cowherd. He came up here and made a phenomenal point. He said, I'm not stealing it, I'm borrowing it. Here's the thing, if you steal a take, you own it. I'm borrowing this take, and I'm going to return it back to Colin by Monday.
Did you ask him?
No, I didn't. I'll tweet at him.
Borrowing without asking.
Borrowing your take. Andy Dalton 4-2 in his last 6 starts.
Yes.
Dak Prescott was 4-2 over his last 6 starts. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Dak Prescott's his future's not as bright. No, I'm not going to say nothing asinine like that. What I'm going to say is both of these gentlemen were contributing at a similar clip to the Cowboys' success. You can look at yardage because, again, I don't give lazy takes. I don't give lazy statistics. I wanted to know this. How good is Andy Dalton when it matters? How important are Andy Dalton's stats? I don't want empty calories. You and I talk about this a lot, Sal. Not the bag of chips where half of them is air. I want meaningful calories. I want meaningful statistics. Andy Dalton actually had a higher percentage of his yardage within 1-possession games or when his team was leading. Remember Dak Prescott down by 20 against the Falcons? He had a whole bunch of yards, but they were trailing. Remember Dak Prescott down against the Cleveland Browns? Had a whole bunch of yards, but they were trailing. Just like Lamar Jackson last year in the playoffs. 500 total yards, but they were trailing. I'm like, Marcellus, how important are these stats? But Andy Dalton, he has 72% of his yards when it's a 1-possession game or ahead, as opposed to Dak's 54%. Again, this isn't a Dak versus Dalton comparison. I'm just saying Dak is so good that if Dalton is even in the ballpark, we have to put some respect on his name. So I'm going to give Mike McCarthy a pinch of credit. But the person who I'm going to give that tablespoon first is Andy Dalton. I'm going to get to the rest later.
Okay. All right, not bad. JC, Casey, JoJo, one of them. Damn. You gave me a lot right there. I'm just going to shoot all that down and say maybe the defense is playing better, so the games are closer. Therefore, you can't do that, Dak.
I respect it.
Because it's already 21-0 when Dak steps on the field, it felt like, early in the season. But I digress. Mike McCarthy deserves the credit for this situation right now. Yes. No, not a pinch. Not a pinch. You know why not a pinch? Because if you get the hate, you get the love. And you gave him a lot of hate.
That's fair.
So why you only giving him a pinch of love? You're out of balance right now. That's what happens. When you're in the mirror that much, sometimes things get distorted right now. You have to give this guy the same amount of love as you gave him all that hate. When you give someone credit, also, you give them the ability, you give them the vacuum to give them a debit. I just want to keep this consistent. I want to say, who else should we give credit to? Oh, the starting quarterback that got hurt. No, we can't give him credit. What about the offensive line decimated by injuries and retirement? No, we're not going to go there. What about the star running back who's having a career worst season? Oh, we can't give him credit. What about the defense that was one of the worst in the league? Oh, damn, we can't give that credit. What about Andy Dalton? Oh, there we go. I chose point. Who went 2-11 last year? Can you give my man Mike McCarthy some credit for resuscitating what the hell was the remains and ashes of Andy Dalton as he was a free agent this summer? What about Kellen Moore? Oh, young, wet behind the ears, offensive coordinator. Oh, damn, we've run out of people to give credit to because we can't fully give any of those guys credit. It has to be Mike McCarthy, who's been here before. Don't forget, Mike McCarthy is the coach that wins in December, that wins in January. 12 full seasons. Mike McCarthy's Green Bay teams had only two sub-500 records in December and January. And what do we call that? Meaningful football time. And that's who Mike McCarthy is. He has a mindset that he's going to go in, reset a culture, and then start to build towards a championship. He did this before. I tried to tell you, he's going to go to Dallas, reset the culture, renew their minds, and all of a sudden, they're going to be on a championship road, just like in Green Bay. Inherited a 4-win team. 8-8 the next year. After that, you blink, they were Super Bowl champions in 2010.
Long blink.
Same thing is going a long-ass blink. Like, are you up? Wake up. Point is, it's going to happen again in Dallas. Just be patient, my man.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yes, it is.
The most you're going to convince me to do, Sal, is give him a sprinkle of credit. A little bit more than a pinch. A little more than a pinch. Because let me tell you who the second people I'm going to give credit to. The Cowboys' opponents. If you want to win, put the Bengals in. I'm giving credit, Sal, to the Cowboys' opponents. Let me tell you why. Who do they play? They play the Bengals. They beat the 49ers, and then they beat the Eagles. Teams with a combined record of 14-29-2. 14-29-2, the two opponents they beat. The quarterbacks that they beat have combined for less than, 17 starts? Jalen Hurts was on his third start. Brandon Allen for the Bengals was on his 9th start, maybe 8th start at the time. And you got Nick Mullins. Come on, Sam.
Nick Mullins?
Exactly. So I'm very simply saying the second most important person is their opponents. We've talked about this before. And I'm going to get to it. I'm going to give y'all the cliffhanger again, but I'm going to get to it. The Cowboys and Andy Dalton, they have been balling. And I give credit to Andy Dalton specifically because even though he's beat some bad teams, he still beat some good defenses. Let's make no mistake about it. Even though Andy Dalton and the Cowboys have beat bad teams, Dalton has still played well against good defenses. Because I know some of y'all are thinking, wait, Acho, you gave me stats about how good Andy Dalton is, but now you're talking about how bad the team is. A team can be bad, but a defense still be good. Don't sleep on that. I was their third best defense in college, but we went 5-7. Make that make sense. So I'm going to still give credit to Andy Dalton, but on my second lap, on my second layer, real quick, Marcellus, I'm going to say the Cowboys. No, because my third lap needs some space. My third lap needs some space. My anchor leg coming in strong. I'm going to say the Cowboys' opponents, they still get more credit than I'm going to give Mike McCarthy.
I don't understand the resistance to giving Mike McCarthy what he's due because I just pointed out all of the individual facets of this team that have failed this team. But still, something kept it together. Let's talk about the adversity that this team has went through. Let's talk about the criticism that this team has went through. Let's talk about the fact that when this team was 2-7 after they lost to the Steelers, not a damn soul in the world thought that they will be in a position to still win this division and still be in the playoffs and still a chance in the dance. Acho, you destroyed the Cowboys all year long. And now that you have to eat some crow, you're sitting there like my 1-year-old, and just throwing it off the plate. I don't know why you're acting like this, Acho, when it's so blatantly obvious what is keeping this team quote-unquote, on schedule. I understand partly why you're like, it's the opponents, it's Andy Dalton. It's because it's still a bad team, but we're not asking are the Cowboys good or bad. We're asking who should we give credit to what the Cowboys have done and what they potentially still can do, which is make the postseason. Mike McCarthy has a mindset. Mike McCarthy has now brought a culture that is going to keep this thing together. He's going to be the glue in a situation where you have no quarterback. You're on your quarterback 2, quarterback 3, quarterback 4. Your running back is tripping, etc. You are not understanding that now since they're on this 3-game win streak, offense averaging 358 plus yards a game, as we said, 36 points per game. What's the reason behind that? Because think about it. The offense started off fast this year. As you said, you can still have a bad team, but an individual facet, that's good. They had a great offense because Dak Prescott was in the building.
Yes, sir.
You lose Dak Prescott, they lost their way. But something made them correct themselves. Something brought them back to the fold. And it's not Ezekiel Elliott. It's not the offensive line.
Not mad at that.
Is it Andy Dalton? Yeah, in part, but Andy Dalton, we saw you for a full year last year getting benched and going 2-11. So it has to be something greater than him. It has to be someone in authority, and it is Mike McCarthy.
I'm not mad at that take at all.
Okay.
I'm not mad at
I'm getting somewhere.
You're inching me closer to your side of the fence.
The pinching.
Yes.
Okay,
you're inching me closer to your side of the fence.
Let's go.
Sal, let me tell you a story, and I'm sure you've been here before. My rookie year, I'm in Cleveland. I'm with the Browns, and we have some veteran linebackers, DeQuell Jackson, Scott Fujita, Chris Gokong. And we would go through linebacker drills, and if you were to ever drop a pass, the veterans would yell, "Beat him up, Wilson!" What? Somebody else drop a pass, "Beat him up, Wilson!" I was like, who in God's name is Wilson? Then they said, "Hey, Acho, look at the brand of the football.
Look at that ball.
You look at the brand of the football, it'll have the NFL logo on it, and it will also say Wilson, the maker of the football."
Yes.
So the third most important player as far as the Cowboys' success, Marcellus Wiley, is Wilson. Why? Cowboys beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals fumbled 3 times on their first 3 possessions, giving the Cowboys 17 points. 17 points. Why? Because Wilson could not stay in the arms of the Cincinnati Bengals. Because Wilson was having a bad attitude on that day. 17 points, including that fumble return for a touchdown by Aldon Smith. Now, you might say, Acho, that's just a Bengals game. Stop tripping. Give Mike McCarthy his credit. What happened next week, Marcellus Wiley?
I'm listening.
What happened against the San Francisco 49ers, Marcellus Wiley? Wilson start acting up again. Bad, but one of them baby kids. That's what they used to call them. Them baby, like Wilson, just acting up. Wilson, 4th touch of the game, San Francisco 49ers.
You are the
fumble.
worst.
7th touch of the game, San Francisco 49ers. Fumble. Leads to the Cowboys another 17-0 start. So I'm going to give Mike McCarthy some credit, but I'm going to do y'all like they do you in school class when they get you with the full screen to let you know all the synopsis of what they just finished telling you. The first person that deserves the most credit, Andy Dalton.
Okay.
Second people that deserve more credit than Mike McCarthy, Cowboys opponents. Third people that deserve more credit than Mike McCarthy, Wilson. And then you get to the bottom of the list. I told you, I'm going to give him a pinch. I'm going to give him a pinch. You got some ingredients. You see the fans are at 24th, and then Mike McCarthy's at 25th. A pinch.
Man.
I'm going to give you like Salt Bay. A pinch.
Man, you just like kicking up dust. I need to check your shoes out. I know they dusty as hell because you just kicking up dust for no reason. It's good TV. It's great theater. Oh, yeah, I'm sitting here with my popcorn T.O. style. But damn, I can't believe what's coming out of your mouth. You need to change your rankings. You need to change your order. This is a team that got smacked in the mouth. You've been in fights before because obviously you talking about, well, you ain't going to jump in for me when we go out and hang out. So obviously you're a fighter, right? I am not a fighter. Call me what you want, including the punk, but I ain't fighting nobody for nothing. But what I've noticed from the sidelines of fights is when you get into a fight and somebody gets that killer off on you, that, hey, yeah, and then you're like, you walking around, hey, and then you're like, first you're looking at the crowd, your boys, you're like, I did that. Then you look at the girl, and then you're looking at the other girl that you wanted, so, you see what I could do, I got you, protection. And then all of a sudden, you hear something. And it ain't the crowd roaring for you and that knockout punch you thought you just landed. It's dude getting back up. And you like, and then he looks at you, come on. Hey, I swear the Cowboys just got back up and looked at the league and said, come on. Like, they are not dead. And they took the punch from everyone. Critics, media, pundits, opponents. And no one has knocked them out. So that's why I got to give Mike McCarthy some credit. You talk about them forcing turnovers, having a healthy rhythm between their offense and defense. Finally, like really consistent performances. You know where that comes from? Let's talk about it. It ain't about Wilson and the brand of the ball. How do you get a fumble in the NFL? They even tell you in the stat.
You can force one.
Huh? No. Say it with your chest, Jodeci. Say it again. You can. That ain't how you say it. Say it again.
You can force one.
Force.
You can.
How do you force a fumble?
One.
That means Cincinnati didn't just drop the ball. We came and took the ball away from Cincinnati. But my last point, my anchor leg, as you would say, is simply this. I told you this 3 months ago. What's happening in Dallas has happened in Tampa Bay and has happened in Pittsburgh. Last year, Tampa Bay, 7-9, needed a quarterback. Got a quarterback. Where are they now? Pittsburgh, last year, 8-8, needed a quarterback. Needed Big Ben back. He's back now. Where are they now? Dallas Cowboys, right now, right there at the doorstep, trying to get into the playoffs. Even if they don't get in, where are they now? Looking forward, that cultural reset is in effect, and the Cowboys are on their Super Bowl ways. Coming up at the top of the hour, Jalen Hurts can spoil Washington's playoff hopes Sunday. We'll tell you if we think it will happen, but first, Baker Mayfield is playing for a playoff spot, but we'll tell you if he's also playing for his future. That's next. Speak for yourself, R&B edition. This dude.
What's up, Speak for Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Baker Mayfield, he's trying to do something that has not been done in nearly 20 years. Yeah, you heard that, right? That's lead the Browns to the playoffs. He's coming off a 3-fumble performance, but we won't talk about that. A 3-fumble performance against the Jets. But if the Browns beat the Steelers Sunday, they're in. That's it. Win and you're in. Baker can also be playing for a new contract since he's eligible for an extension on his rookie deal this offseason. So, Marcellus Wiley, is Baker Mayfield playing for his Browns' future on Sunday?
Yes, he is. In perception, which is going to be the reality in this kind of situation. I've been in this situation before. We all been in this situation before. Entering the NFL, you come in with a claim. Reputation precedes you. People draft, and they say, this is where we think you should fit in the league and on our team. So they give you a value from hello. But then you have to go out there and earn your keep. And what's interesting about Baker Mayfield is, in perception, if he doesn't get it done this year, I think internally they're going to start to look at other options. Let's talk about those options.
Please.
What happened in the draft this year to teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts over there, and even the Green Bay Packers with now the 3-time MVP and Aaron Rodgers, they draft at your position.
Yes, sir.
In Philly, they gave him a phone call. Hey, Carson Wentz, we're thinking about drafting your position. They didn't even pay that courtesy to Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. What about free agent acquisitions? What do you mean? What happened in Chicago? Nick Foles shows up. Mr. Trubisky, watch your back. And we're going to insert him unnecessarily just because we think higher of him than you. What about the Raiders situation? Marcus Mariota, he's sitting behind Derek Carr, but when he got in, all of a sudden you could feel the groundswell. Hey, Marcus Mariota, dual threat, what's up, Raiders? Or let's talk about in season. You never know. You're never safe. Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill. You think you was cool, Marcus Mariota? They went and got Ryan Tannehill. Now they have a franchise quarterback. My point is this. If you don't watch your back, Baker Mayfield, you're going to open up all of those opportunities in the minds of this organization. That's a scary place to be, because I've been the guy where they weren't even thinking about another DN, and I've been the guy where they're like, Wiley, we're going to rotate you in or out. And then I've been the guy who's been released because of bad performances. Baker Mayfield, because of his inconsistency, is leaving this team nothing else but the option to think elsewhere unless he handles his business this week and going forward in the playoffs.
I respect that. I respect how much authority Marcellus gave that. Gave that take, said with your chest. Man, almost made me believe it. I'm smarter than that, though. I wasn't a huge baseball fan growing up. I kind of got into the game, but the people I liked most in baseball games actually weren't the players, crazy enough. It was the umpires. Because growing up, you would hear him say, like, "You're out of there." And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And then every now and then you see him say, "Safe." And that's what I think when I think about Baker Mayfield. Oh. He just got that call from the ump.
Talk to me.
In this case, I'm the umpire. And I'm saying that he's safe. He's not playing for his contract this weekend. Baker Mayfield is safe because either way, I'll give it to y'all like this, America. Y'all rock with me here. Y'all are intelligent people. He'll either end up with 10 wins on the season, not make the playoffs, but still do something the Browns haven't done since 2007. He'll end up with 11 wins on the season, make the playoffs, and do something the Browns haven't done since 2002 and 1994 when you talk about 11 wins on a season. So how can you look at Baker Mayfield and say that he's still playing for something when regardless of how it goes this weekend, he's either going to do something they haven't done since 07 or something they haven't done since 02. Regardless of how it goes this weekend, he still would have gone from 6-10 last year to 10-6 this year, even if they lose. Regardless of how it goes this weekend, Baker Mayfield has already done enough for me to look and say, safe. Now, you can sit here and try to be a master delineator of, well, Baker still hasn't done this and still hasn't done that. But what I'm telling you is if I look across the spectrum of the NFL and I look at quarterbacks through the spectrum of the NFL, I say, wait a second, Baker. 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. You telling me you have more touchdown passes than Matt Ryan on the season, Phillip Rivers on the season, Lamar Jackson on the season, Jared Goff on the season, Teddy Bridgewater, who just got paid on the season, Matthew Stafford on the season? No, I ain't done, Sale. I'm just getting warmed up. Wait a second, Baker. 8 interceptions on the season. You telling me you got less interceptions than Matthew Stafford on the season, Josh Allen on the season, Justin Herbert on the season? Did I just say Tom Brady on the season? Well, I just did. Kyler Murray on the season. Wait a second, Baker. You telling me that last year Aaron Rodgers had 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 62% completion percentage. But Baker, you got 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 63% completion percentage. That's fairly comparable. Baker Mayfield don't need to do nothing right now, Marcellus Wiley, this coming Sunday to play for his future because Baker's already done enough. But let's bring in somebody else who knows a thing or two. That's NFL analyst Greg Jennings, my dog, one of the best dressed men on television.
Let's see what he got on.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
What's happening?
I like that. Same Greg. Same Greg. I respect
He been in that Sears catalog.
Well, Greg, let's hope your take is as fresh as your fit. Greg, is Baker playing for his future on Sunday? His Browns' future on Sunday?
He most certainly is playing for his Browns' future. I am 100% swimming in the waters with Marcellus, and here's why, Acho. I like your takes about Baker doing something that the Browns haven't experienced, but if you go back to when he first got drafted, the Browns were an 0 team. So he did something once he started. When he got there, he won a game. It doesn't mean anything. When you have a lower standard, that's okay, that's acceptable. But now the culture has shifted. Their expectations have risen to the point to where it's not just about making the playoffs, Baker. We've actually put personnel around you on offense, defense, and at the coaching positions to where it's set up for you to succeed and excel. And so now when you go into a situation against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we talked about this earlier in the week, they're missing so many pieces and not even playing so many pieces. It's laid up for you to take advantage of. You have to take advantage of it. And then I'll say this and I'll let you guys have it back. When you look at the quarterbacks that he was drafted with, the year he was drafted, you have Lamar Jackson. What has he done? Oh, he's won an MVP of the National Football League. You look at Josh Allen. What has he done? Oh, he's in the MVP conversation this year. He won't win it, but he's up there. You look at the reason why we're not seeing the Cleveland Browns already solidified in the playoffs, because he played a New York Jet team led by Sam Darnold that denied him of that opportunity. So when I'm looking at Baker Mayfield, you have to be better in order for the Browns to say, you know what, this is solidified our guy. He's done something, not only getting us to the playoffs, but he's also provided us an opportunity to dismiss all entertaining of other possible options.
I am with you, Greg. Woo! Here we go. I like the Acho's take because Someone has to defend Baker Mayfield in that room when he goes there this offseason trying to get that fifth-year option, and they sitting there slamming the door in his face. Somebody has to be there with him to pick him up, because they're going to point out exactly what Greg has said and what I'm saying about Baker Mayfield. Let's just start right here, Acho, because you keep talking about the weapons and lack of receivers or whatever. Look at Lamar Jackson's weapons, drafted in the same class as Baker Mayfield, number 32 versus number 1.
We can go there. You don't want to go there.
I do want to go there, but not right now. We're not going to go dive down that hole, but just think about it in conception. The names, the talent level, the performances of what's on Lamar Jackson's teams, a bunch of tight ends, basically, and then you got Mark Ingram, who was cast away from New Orleans because they picked Alvin Kamara over him. I digress. But the point is, not the same level of weapons. But what about the production? It's a little different, but that's not even my point.
What's your point?
Baker Mayfield needs to figure out, in his same draft class, is he Josh Allen or Josh Rosen? Uh-oh, because Baker Mayfield, you shouldn't be.
Don't do this.
Hey,
don't do this.
Shout out to John Heller. Another point by my boy Heller. My boy Heller be coming with him.
Hey,
matter of fact, Heller gonna come on here Monday. Let's go to war. And here's the thing. Who is he? Because if you're number 1 in the class by draft status, you can't all of a sudden find yourself behind a couple of guys in that same draft. We're not even talking about the NFL at large. We're talking about just who came out with you, Baker Mayfield. But I'm going to talk to Acho the way that I know Baker Mayfield. Acho, you keep going with this 10 wins. I think that's what you hang your hat on. And you always mess up the fact that there's a difference between outcome and performance. And in Baker Mayfield's case, you can't hide behind all those wins because you're not the reason that they have all of those wins. Oh, Acho think I'm just playing. I'm going to use Baker against Baker. Look at this full screen right now and tell me, is Baker Mayfield doing better or worse than his own record? Look at this, his rookie year to this year. He had more passing yards as a rookie, more passing touchdowns as a rookie, more yards per attempt as a rookie, more passing yards in the game as a rookie, and fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives. And you know what the kicker is?
What's the kicker?
He had fewer games his rookie year than he does this year. Wait a minute. Look, I'm going to tell you how they talked to me when I wanted my money. Ain't nobody going to give you this money easy unless you earned it, bro. My last point is this. You know sports, Acho. I know you want to win this round, but let's be real. In sports, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no such thing as I'm staying the same. So I want to ask you right now, Acho, in front of America,
please,
based on those numbers, is Baker Mayfield getting better or worse?
Better. I'm going to tell you, I'm about to slice and dice him up. Greg, I'm about to slice up your boy. Greg, go ahead and call the cops, call the ambulance, not the ambulance, call the ambulance.
That's how I say it still.
Here's the first thing I got to address. Greg, you weren't here yesterday when Marcellus Wiley admitted to the world that he doesn't come up with his own takes. What I love about Tom Cruise as an actor is he does his own stunts. When you're watching Tom Cruise, you know that if he's in a movie, he's doing his own stunts. Marcellus, I wish you would be more like Tom Cruise and do your own stunts and come up with your own takes.
I don't like his movies that much.
Let me slice Marcellus and dice him real quick. Greg Jennings, you're a receiver. You're a phenomenal receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, he was.
Greg, what would you say are, I don't know, the top 3 most important statistics you look at when talking about a quarterback?
Passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions.
Great. Passing yards, he said. Touchdowns, he said. And he said interceptions. Was that, Greg?
Oh, he said 2 of mine already.
Hey, can you please bring up Marcellus Wiley's full screen, America?
Passing yards.
Can you please bring up... Now, conveniently, maybe my glasses are messed up. Conveniently, I don't see interceptions on that list.
He's better.
Now, it's funny
because
see
yards and touchdowns.
Greg Jennings has won a Super Bowl playing the receiver, playing with one of, if not the greatest talent-wise quarterbacks of all time.
I didn't think you want the whole list.
And Greg Jennings, the receiver, just told me 3 of the most important categories are yards, touchdowns, and interceptions. Marcellus Wiley's probably the smartest man in this camera frame right now, and he coincidentally, conveniently left off interception.
Purposefully.
Marcellus Wiley, I'm not going to play with you. Baker Mayfield has gotten better.
How?
Baker Mayfield, because he had 21 interceptions last year and decreased that by 60%.
No, you can't go to the excess of fail in the class and come back, get a D, and talk about I'm doing better.
Baker Mayfield right now, there are 16 quarterbacks worse in the NFL as far as interceptions than Baker Mayfield. But let me give it to you like this.
Yes.
Let me simplify it, because right now Marcellus has obviously tried to lie to y'all, to America, but I'm not going to let him do that. It's 2021. New year, same cell, but new year, new me. Let me give it to y'all like this, America. Only trade or give up on, not trade, but only give up on Baker Mayfield if you can go to someone excellent. only give up on good if you can find great. Because good may be the enemy of great, but good is still a friend of success. So only give up on good if you can find great. The problem is the Browns are going to give up on good if we're assuming that Baker's still playing for his job, playing for a future contract, for nobody. See, Alex Smith was with the Chiefs. They said, you know what? We got great in Patrick Mahomes. We'll give up on good because we got great. Marcus Mariota, he was good-ish with the Titans. They made the playoffs a couple times, 7 wins, 8 wins. But Ryan Tannehill, last 2 years, he's been great. But then we talk about the Minnesota Vikings. They gave up on Case Keenum. Kevin Stefanski was there because they wanted Kirk Cousins. They thought Kirk Cousins would be great. They gave up on good to get good-ish. Even let's talk about my guys, the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz, you've been bad, bruh. We gonna give up on bad because we gonna hope for great in Jalen Hurts. They gave up on bad for bad adjacent. So I'm not going to tell y'all to give up on. I'm not going to tell y'all to give up on Baker Mayfield for what? For an enigma? And Marcella start telling us
what you call
this
me?
New Year.
Oh, all right. All right, Booger McFarland around it. Hey. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, all right, I heard wrong. Let me say this real. Acho, I can't believe. Hey, I'm a fool. I'm sorry. I can't believe.
Yeah, you are.
Acho is tripping. I mean, feloniously tripping. Like, lock him up tripping right now. Okay, Acho, I'm sorry. You thought I was cooking the books on this full screen. I'm sorry. You know what I left out, which is my favorite stat?
What's up, Sam?
Completion percentage.
Talk to me, Sam.
I'm not leaving it out because it doesn't help my argument. Completion percentage helps my argument. He was more accurate as a rookie than he is this year. But I didn't put it in there because I didn't want to overwhelm the audience with every single thing he was better at as a rookie. That's my point. So you try to highlight interceptions, but yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, shall I carry on? The dude was better when he was coming out the womb of college than he is in his 3rd year. That's sad. But let me get you like this, Acho, because you sound like my exes. Oh, I hated when we broke up.
The one you proposed to or no? Just let me know my fate.
I proposed to 4.
Will I end up with a ring on my finger?
I proposed to 4, so I don't know which one you're talking about, but I'm going to just sum them all up. Let me generalize. I always heard this when we were breaking up, which I didn't want to hear because, you know what, we had all this time to work this out. You can't do better than me. Acho just went there with the NFL argument of, why get rid of good if you're not going to get great because you can't do better than Baker. And you know what I used to always think, because I didn't want to blow up the spot, I used to always think, but I can't do worse either. Let me talk about that. And you know what? I'm looking at Baker like, hey, bro, can't do much worse than this in this situation. 22-22 is his record. You're the #1 overall pick, and you're over there treading water. Dog, sink or swim. I want to see it, Baker. You 22-22. No playoff appearances, which may still stay true this year, and 2nd most interceptions in the NFL over his career. Acho, I love you so much. I used to love my exes too, but you know what? Got to move on, big dog. We'll see what Baker does. Coming up, the Bills are one of the top teams in football, but we'll tell you if Josh Allen still has anything to prove before the playoffs start. That's next. The same Josh Allen from Baker's class. Speak for yourself. 3rd MVP.
Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. It's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People's Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness, or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we could all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Tomorrow, it's a marquee Big East matchup as number 11 Creighton battles Providence. That's tomorrow at noon Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Josh Allen is a big reason why my Bills are red hot heading into the playoffs. Buffalo has won 5 straight games and are the number 2 seed in the AFC. 3rd-year quarterback has 43 total touchdowns this season and only trails Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in MVP odds according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Greg is back with us, but Acho, Does Josh Allen have anything to prove before the playoffs start?
For me, he does, because his bar is so very high right now. Josh Allen has been balling, right? Coming off that last segment, y'all be like, wait a second, Acho, how you going to tell me Baker ain't got nothing to prove, but Josh Allen does? These people are in different categories, America. Josh Allen is now in the realm of elite. Josh Allen's first year, he was bad. Let's be real. His second year, we're like, he's kind of good. But this year, he has been elite. In the NFL, you got three categories of the quarterback position, in my opinion. You got bad quarterbacks, you got good quarterbacks, you have elite quarterbacks. Josh Allen has been elite. So what does he have to prove? That he can stay there. He has to prove he can stay there. He was bad early on, then he was good, then he's been elite. This season, once you get into that elite category, in any sort of sport, in any sort of position, eliteness has to do with how long can you maintain that dominance. LeBron James, I just saw recently, 1,000 consecutive games of double-digit points. If Bron step on the basketball court, you gonna get at least 10 from him. Devontae Adams, rain, cold, sunshine, he gonna ball. Aaron Rodgers, he's elite. He will ball. Regardless of what happens, he will ball. Not saying you might not have a bad game, but you know for the most part, they are elite. But when I look at Josh Allen, he's in that elite category. Rodgers, Allen this year, let's take our opinions out of it, and then Patrick Mahomes. So what does Josh Allen need to prove to me, to Bills Mafia, to the rest of America, that not only can you get on the mountaintop, but you can stay there for more than a week? So, when I looked at it this year, Josh Allen's never had 3 games with a completion percentage of over 70. He's had 2 games in the 70s, dropped down to the 50s. 2 games in the 70s, dropped down to the 60s. Yeah. Now he's coming off of 2 consecutive games with a completion percentage of 70. What are we going to see against the Dolphins? Josh Allen's ain't had 2 consecutive games with a high passer rating. 2 games, drop down. 2 games, drop down. So what can Josh Allen prove to me? He's entered into a category of elite. 3 weeks ago, I said Josh Allen was the 6th best quarterback in the NFL. Marcellus came up here and said he's top 5. I said, you're crazy. Right now, I'm like, you know what? I give it to him. He's top 5, top 4. You could argue with his running ability as well as his passing ability. He is top 3. But I want to see consistency. You have to be consistently good to be great. You have to be consistently great to be excellent. He's proven that he can be excellent, but can he now be consistently excellent so that he can become and maintain being elite?
Like some of that take right there, but I think it's out of context. For me, there's nothing left to prove in the regular season for Josh Allen. He won't win the MVP. He'll come close. But he is an elite passer in this league, and we know that. So now it's time for him to return to the scene of the crime. And where was that crime last year? Oh, that Houston Texans ball game in the playoffs. You guys remember this when we saw Josh Allen literally become the poster child for what pressure looks like. And as Bucky Brooks would say, stress looks like in the moment, because I have never in my life seen someone spaz on the football field in real time to the point where we're all sitting there crying out, no, you're going to lose the game, because something needs to change within his mind, between his ears, because he was just losing it right before our very eyes. Let's all be real about this. And that's why I don't want to see anything else in the regular season from Josh Allen. Exercise those demons in the playoffs, and then you got me fully convinced that you were at elite status. It reminds me of my favorite basketball team, the Clippers. Be real. Be real about my Clippers. Until they get past the second round, ain't nobody really stunting the Clippers. Everybody always laughs at them, say, great, you beat the Lakers once again on opening night. They do that every year. Oh, you beat the Lakers in a season series. Oh, yeah, that's great. What do they have to do? Return to the scene of the crime, second round of the playoffs, finally advance, get to the Western Conference Finals, finally advance, and then become a contender in the championship round. That's what I need from Josh Allen, to go out there and advance in the postseason, and don't be the reason that you don't advance like last year.
Yeah, I believe you both are right. And it's all about the postseason for Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team. So he does have something to prove, because he has the taste in his mouth of what you just referred to, that Houston Texans first round playoff loss, or just debacle, just demise. And this coaching staff, from the general manager, Brandon Beane, to Sean McDermott, to the entire coaching staff, they have such a belief in Josh Allen. And it's because he started to have a confidence in himself. And once you have a confidence and you play with that for so long, now it's like you just believe I'm supposed to do it. It's going to happen. There's no doubt. I got the confidence. That's through the roof. Now you have people believing and completely buying in. And that's what he's done in this regular season. He's allowed his teammates to see him perform at such a high level, and the fans of Buffalo and worldwide to see him perform week in and week out. And I see you with the stats, Acho, talking about, the completion percentage and all. Miss me with all of that. They got 3 losses right now.
That's real.
They're in the playoffs. That's real. They have an opportunity to do something really special, and it's because of the play of Josh Allen. This kid is hungry. He's smart. He has everything you need at the quarterback position, and he has a bunch of dogs with him that's barking ready to go. So I like everything about Josh Allen. I think the only thing he has to prove is that he can win in the most important part of the season, which is the playoff, the dance, and we'll see how he does there.
But let me ask y'all this, fellas, because when you're talking about greats, and let's simplify it in basketball because it makes for a better analogy, the greats can hit the three-point shot, but they can also make the layup, right? Like the greats might be able to make the fall-away jumper at the buzzer, but the greats can also just finish in traffic. See, we've seen Josh Allen hit the three-point shot. We've seen him against the Rams march all the way down the field, and if you're a Rams fan, you might call it a nonsensical call, but you've seen Josh Allen march down the field and win a game. You've seen Josh Allen earlier on in the season pull off some miraculous upsets, like you've seen Josh Allen hit the fall-away threes. But I'm just wondering, okay, Josh Allen, can you make your layups? Because when you start to talk about quarterbacks who are elite, and Josh Allen, again, he's elite, it's almost weird because I believe he came from Wyoming and we were all doubting him. He couldn't throw a 5-yard out. His accuracy's terrible. But then we blinked and we was like, oh, this dude is nice. So it's still almost weird to utter that Josh Allen's elite, but the fact of the matter, he is. When I look at it, and let's look at this full screen if you can, AFC quarterbacks versus top 8 teams, because when you're talking about elite quarterbacks, well, now you want to compare them against other elite quarterbacks and elite things. Win percentage versus top 8 teams. Josh Allen, he's at 500. That's below, I believe, what we got, Mahomes and Roethlisberger. Now, passer rating against top 8 teams. Elite quarterbacks versus elite opponents. Josh Allen's Hill, Fitzpatrick, and Jackson. Okay, elite quarterbacks, elite things. Josh Allen, you are in an elite category now. What's up? Completion percentage. Below Mahomes, now Fitzpatrick, now Roethlisberger, now Tannehill, now Jackson, now Rivers, now Mayfield. Once you ascend into that category of being elite, people start to put out their microscopes because they really trying to see just how good you are. At the surface, Josh Allen is phenomenal. Y'all check the stats. But against this Dolphins team, I want to see, hey, Josh Allen, can you hit them layups too? I know you can make them fall-away threes, but can you hit them layups?
Acho, one thing. I know you want to look smarter wearing those glasses. Don't mean you are smarter wearing those glasses. Matter of fact, I'm questioning
I'm
questioning your vision right now. Well, you're just coming up to America. Either the glares in your eyes or you're cooking books. I don't know which one because you said, I need Josh Allen to do it more than 3 games in a row.
Yes, sir.
Did you watch him in the beginning of the season? Greg, obviously you did. You know why? Because you covered the Rams-Bills game week 3 when Josh Allen had 5 total touchdowns. And Acho says he didn't have 3 straight games like that.
With
really?
The completion percentage of 70.
Completion percentage. 69, 68.57 is not 70. I'm sorry, Acho. My bad. Okay. What about quarterback? What about quarterback rating? 104, 146, 128, 115. I'm sorry,
Acho.
Who you
that
are.
Hey, Greg, I know who he is. No. He went to his Columbia professors, but I have a 69.7. Can you just make it a 70? And they said, no, Marcellus, this is Columbia. Okay, no. This isn't, Greg, where you go, Minnesota? Where you go, Central
Michigan? Don't do that. No.
Greg just sitting there like, move on. Greg ain't trying to hear this. And you know what? That's why I always come with 2, because I knew he was going to say, look, completion percentage is a 0.5% off. Then I went to quarterback rating. He went back to completion percentage. You notice that, Greg? That's my point. Don't try and microscope Josh Allen. No matter what lens you look at him through, the dude is an elite quarterback. I love the fact that if the season ended right now today, Josh Allen's one of 4 quarterbacks in NFL history, 300 yards per game, 40 or more touchdowns, and fewer than 10 picks in a season. Only 4 ever? And Josh Allen is on that pace. Still won't win the MVP, but let's not question his elite ability, but let's now solidify it once he gets to the postseason and goes out there.
Let me ask you something, Sarah, real quick. Let me talk to my dogs. Because, G, you said Josh Allen, you would put him in the top 3 right now, correct?
Correct.
Marcellus, you would do the same? Because I would do the same.
Top 5 for sure. I got to think a little more about top 3.
That's
but
fine.
yeah, he's right there.
But either way, he's right there in that conversation. When I look at Patrick Mahomes, he's had 2 stretches this season of 4 games with no interceptions. 2 stretches this season. No interceptions for 4 straight games. When I look at other quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, he has also had 2 stretches this season, Sal. No interceptions. 4 games, 4 games. Then I look at Josh Allen, and I'm just like, hey, big dog, all I've seen is 1 time, and that's the beginning of the season, that you haven't had interception, no interception, interception, no interception. So the whole season, from week 3 on, he hasn't given you consecutive games with no picks. If he is elite, which he is, don't you think he has to do the same things that these other elite quarterbacks are doing?
Well, in his growing pains, he's a risk taker because he has the biggest arm of the names you just mentioned. So he's going to go out there and risk it more, probably have yards per attempt greater than those guys, probably push the ball down the field more, and be at risk more. But, Greg, in short, just tell me what you saw, because you were in the building calling the game when you saw Josh Allen, his special qualities.
I saw a lot of Big Ben Roethlisberger attributes. A big guy who is unwilling to be tackled by any type of DN or any defensive pass rusher, and who has the trust and the belief that he can stand in the pocket, take the hit, and make the throw. And to your point, Marcellus, that is why you see him make those mistakes, because he truly believes I can get it there. I can fit it in any window. And we saw him throw an interception in that game that could have cost his team. But what did he turn around and do? He turned around, went to the sideline, grabbed a bucket of resilience, stepped out on the football field, and led his team down to win that game.
It sounds like we're in chorus of how special Josh Allen is. He's going to write the rest of this book, and especially come postseason time, we're interested in seeing how he fills it out. All right, it's time to make our picks for Sunday's Fox Super 6 contest. Download the free Fox Super 6 app now and play along with us. Sticking with the Bills, their home game against the Dolphins is one of the matchups this week. So, Acho, get us started. Who you liking? How many?
We just sang his praises. Give me Josh Allen and the Bills, 34-28.
Greg, what you got?
I'm going Josh Allen and the Bills, 28-24.
Same here. Josh Allen, go get it, 37-16. All right, Fox Super 6 has given away over $3.5 million. Get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your shot to win. All you have to do is correctly predict the outcome of 6 NFL games. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Coming up, the Eagles will not be in the playoffs, but we'll tell you if Jalen Hurts will play spoiler against Washington. That's next. Speak for yourself. You're watching Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho. Love, brother. Let's head to the NFC East, where the Eagles are out of the playoffs, but they can still shake things up a little bit. Philly hosts Washington Sunday night, and if the football team wins, they clinch the division. Ron Rivera knows his team will have their hands full with Jalen Hurts saying this week, quote, honestly, he does remind me of Russell Wilson. Boom! Acho, do you expect Jalen Hurts to play spoiler against Washington?
I don't. And first, can we just pump the brake? Ron Rivera, you can give out a compliment without sounding a little too hyperbolic. Really? As soon as I came on TV, it was after, as soon as I left the NFL, I came on TV, I was still on, working my way up, local news, etc. People were like, man, Acho, you're going to be like Michael Strahan. Can you calm down? Like, I'm out here doing local news. This man is on Good Morning America talking about you going to be like Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
Like, Jalen Hurts, can we calm down comparing him to Russell Wilson, a likely future Hall of Famer? I'm just simply here to say, everybody, calm down. I don't expect Jalen Hurts to play spoiler cell for a couple reasons. Number one, can we put things in context? Jalen Hurts currently has a completion percentage average of 56%. Completion percentage. It's one of the most important statistics we're talking about quarterbacks. 56%. Only quarterback worse, Matt Ryan. Jalen Hurts has taken 9 sacks over the last 2 weeks. Leads the NFL. Jalen Hurts has shown us a lot of great things. He's shown us a lot of promise. He's shown us that he likely will be the future quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. But do I expect him to play spoiler when the Eagles couldn't win, when the season was on the line? Like, if the Eagles couldn't win the game when they actually had stuff to play for, how you expect me to believe that they're going to be able to win the game when they don't have anything to play for? So I don't anticipate Jalen Hurts playing spoiler. The Eagles couldn't get it done against the Cowboys' defense and pass rush, which is significantly worse, pass defense and pass rush. Couldn't get it done against the Cowboys. The Eagles couldn't. I don't anticipate them getting it done against a hungrier and better defense in Washington.
You know I wasn't listening to nothing you said. As soon as you said you understood. I know.
You don't ever listen.
I'm an active listener, but I ain't paying attention to what the hell you talking about. Yes, he's going to play spoiler here. And I caught that flex, that little humble brag. Oh, everybody think I'm going to be straight hand.
I was nobody at the time.
What?
I was nobody at the time.
You're always somebody.
I was tracking my footing. Like, oh, you about to be straight hand.
Yeah.
I'm not. First off, he has a gold jacket.
Yeah.
Okay, first off. You
I hear you. I was thinking a little more Family Matters, Darius McCrary. Like, y'all look that up. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, he's going to play spoiler because of his abilities. Not just completion percentage or accuracy or... Oh, did I get into? No, not yet. Not just because he could throw the football. No. Not because he could run. Oh, is he a dual threat? Acho, yes or no? Is Jalen Hurts a dual threat?
Absolutely.
Obviously, because the opposing coach thinks he's Russell Wilson light. And I agree with the opposing coach in Ron Rivera. But let's talk about these dual threat quarterbacks against this Washington football team this year. 0-3. Oh, you haven't beat a dual threat this season? No, you know why? You lost to Kyler Murray. You lost to Lamar Jackson. And you lost to Russell Wilson. And here comes Russell Wilson light. According to Ron Rivera, he basically already told the team, we're going to lose because we don't beat these kind of quarterbacks. Allowing 172 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns to those 3 quarterbacks, and lost those 3 games combined by 34 points. It's not going to be pretty, bro. When you look at this situation, it's simple. He has the attributes. The game is going to slow down continuously for a quarterback just in his 4th game. Acho, you remember your first game? I do. Yo, you could have put me on the 405 freeway, and that would have seemed way crazier, slower. Yeah, I was like, my first game, I couldn't believe it. My 3rd game, I still couldn't believe it. My 4th game, I was like, I can't believe it. At least I could see it. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. The guy is going to continue to put himself in positions to succeed as the game slows down. And then he finds a defense with all those pass rushers who are not going to be able to get to him because he's a dual threat quarterback.
I like that, but
it's just
here's
facts.
The thing, bro.
Just facts.
I'm not going to call you ignorant, Marcellus.
Please don't.
But you and ignorant got a lot in common.
Ignorant a lot.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to call you ignorant.
I'm ignorant light.
But y'all got a lot in common. So you brought this up weeks ago, and I listened to you when you said it. Average passer rating in the NFL right now is 93. Average. Yeah. That's average. Yeah. Like, you walk into class, hey, the average test score was a 93. Jalen Hurts is an 84.
Yeah.
It's not good. Average completion percentage in the NFL, 65. You walk into class, okay, class, the average was a 65. The high was a 75 this week. But Jalen Hurts, you got a 55. I've been there before. I've been the dude who wasn't the smartest in the class. And you wait for the teacher to say the average because you're like, hey, if the average is a 90, boom, your boy got to be at least about an 88. Emmanuel, you got a 70. Like, that's the problem right now with Jalen Hurts. Is like, even the averages, he's far below. He's shown us promise. But I think we had such low expectations because of Carson Wentz. That we were like, oh, crunchy. Any great thing we just nibbled on. Like, when you're in such a toxic relationship, then you're just like, oh, at least they ain't cheat on me. Sure, but they don't come home at night. Yeah, but at least he didn't cheat. It doesn't matter that he didn't cheat. Like, you were in such toxicity that you're just so glad to see anything. My issue, Sel, is very simple. It's like, Jalen Hurts, 3 possessions. Final 3 possessions of the Cowboys game. Turnover, turnover, turnover. Let's just talk about the final 2 possessions, because the last possession, it was 4th. Cowboys are up 30-17 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles, from the 4th quarter on, if you win, you are in. If you beat the you control your own destiny. Beat the Cowboys, beat Washington, you're in.
You're right.
15-yard line, Jalen Hurts, interception.
Dang.
Next possession, 19-yard line, Jalen Hurts, turnover. You just needed to score 2 possessions. Instead of scoring 2 turnovers, I can't trust the Eagles to win a meaningless game when the Eagles could not win the most meaningful game. And I'm not sure how you can trust that.
Well, I could trust this because of opponent and who he's facing. You're playing the Washington football team, and their best attribute is getting after the quarterback and playing pass defense, correct? What's the best friend of any cornerback, any safety? That defensive line and that pass rush, correct? But if you are not able to get to Jalen Hurts, or he has the ability to throw and run because the dual threats are the kryptonite to this defense, what are you going to do then? Take it from a former pass rusher. Nothing worse than when you go out there and beat the offensive lineman and the quarterback has
ball gone,
or he's gone. Either one, right? So the best offensive lineman in this situation, hey, who cares about you? We care about who's behind you, under center. And that's what a defensive line is going to be plagued with in this game. Since you want to bring up Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts took over an offense that Carson Wentz had for 12 games. Only one time over 400 yards. Jalen Hurts, every single time over 400 yards. Ranking higher in every category than Carson Wentz this year. So it's funny, you bring up old relationships that are toxic. I thought I closed my MySpace account. You've been reading my old text messages right there. Coming up, the Packers will be spending January at Lambeau if they can win on Sunday. We'll tell you if we have faith they'll clinch the #1 seed. That's next. Speak for yourself. Oh, took a while to grow up.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The Packers can clinch the #1 seed in the NFC if they beat the Bears on Sunday. But Aaron Rodgers' O-line was dealt a huge blow yesterday when left tackle David Bakhtiari reportedly tore his ACL, and he is now out for the playoffs. Praying for you, Bakhtiari. The Saints still have a shot at the #1 seed with the win and some help, including a Packers loss. Greg is back with us. Look good as always. Marcellus Wiley, you got more faith in the Saints or in the Packers with that #1 seed on the line?
More faith in the Packers because those boys are rolling out there. We're talking about the NFL's highest scoring team in the Green Bay Packers, who've won 5 straight games by an average of over 14 points per game. So they're rolling. And then playing a Chicago Bears team that doesn't have an answer to the Green Bay Packers. They haven't, what are they, 10-2 over the last 6 years since 2014 facing the Green Bay Packers? The Packers just own the Chicago Bears. So I don't see how that's going to be a matchup. And you're talking about a team that's still trying to fight, fully motivated for the #1 seed. And Aaron Rodgers just trying to put an exclamation point on his season as the NFL MVP. I'm going to cut this one short because I don't understand how this could even be an issue. Oh, you're talking about the Saints? Let's hear somebody try and stick up for the Saints because then I'm about to come out here and get you.
Your boy got to stick up for the Saints. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I go against the grain, especially when the other grain is even better. The Saints, I think, have the better chance, and it doesn't really have as much to do with the Saints or the Packers as it does their competition. In a game of football, every now and then you get beat, and you got to remind yourself, oh, yeah, they get paid too.
Yeah.
See, the Chicago Bears, look, they get paid too. The Panthers get paid too. That's the Saints' opponents. The Panthers players just must not get paid as much because they're not as good. So the very, very simple for me. The New Orleans Saints, I think, can go out there and very easily roll. The Carolina Panthers, 5-10. Teddy Bridgewater kind of struggled all season, hasn't been fully healthy. If you really watch the tape, I think 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It might be a 16-9 touchdown interception ratio. They're just not that good, and they lost a superstar in Christian McCaffrey. Never really found their footing all season long. But on the flip side, the Packers' opponent, the Chicago Bears, they've gone from 19 points a game to 33 points a game over the last few weeks since reinserting Mitch Trubisky into the lineup. Third down percentage, y'all know they call third down money down. From 31%, which is already pretty okay in the NFL, to 41%. That's fairly elite. When I talk about the opponent of both of these teams, the Saints opponent and the Packers opponent, the Saints just have a much easier road. Saints are one of 3 teams in the NFL, top 10 scoring offense, top 10 scoring defense. I'm not worried about the Saints giving up or having an off game. If you look all season long, Saints have lost some games, but they haven't really had an off or like a bad game. The only one you could say against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that was coming out against a new quarterback, which you hadn't ever seen play the game of football at the NFL level before. Whereas the Packers, at least you know, one game all season they've been off. It was just one, but still one nonetheless. So give me the Saints if you're saying who has a better shot at not stumbling right now.
The question is more faith in Saints or Packers with the #1 seed on the line.
Yeah, stop playing.
It's an easy answer. It's the Packers.
Yeah.
It's as simple as the Packers just have to win, period. The Saints, even if they win, they need help, and the Packers lose. They need then the Seattle Seahawks to win. So when you're reliant on someone else to help you, you're constantly peeking out the front door. Are they here yet? Are they coming? Did it happen? You don't control your own destiny, and so that's the problem that I have with the Saints. However, I will say this, Acho, I agree with you 100% when you're talking about the Chicago Bears and the opponents that they're going to be facing, the 2 teams, Saints and the Packers. The Bears are a different team right now, period. And Marcellus, I get it. The Packers have owned the Bears, and I do believe that the Packers will win. However, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears gave them a tussle for it because of the way Mitchell Trubisky is playing and that team around him and that defense. We all know what they do. But with Bakhtiari out, this is why Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of this National Football League, because as huge of a loss that will be, and that is, if there is any quarterback that can overcome that can cover a multitude of woes or issues, it's that guy wearing 12 in green and gold, because he's done it before. He's done it time in and time out. So they do have a tall task in front of them, and they will have a tall order in front of them going into the playoffs without Bakhtiari. But I believe that the Packers get the #1 seed.
Woo! Be patient with me, guys. You guys said so much BS up here. I just got to attack it, because I came into this one just trying to shoot layups. You know, Mikey drill. I was just trying to do my little layups. I was standing under the rim. But then now y'all going to have to take me out, because usually when I give my takes, I just want to win. That's it. But now y'all going to take me to the space, that bad place where I go to, I'm going to pull out my clothes. When I not only want to win, but I want y'all to lose. Let's start right here. The Bears, they are a better team than the Panthers, but they're a worse matchup against the Saints than what the Bears are and the Packers are. You know why? Because the Saints and Panthers have played each other the last 5 meetings down to a field goal or less in all 5 of those. Think about it. Uh-oh. Panthers win, 3 losses by 3 points. Oh, tight matchups, including this year when they played each other 27-24. And a fourth quarter field goal won that game. Oh, doesn't look like that's an easy matchup for the Saints to me. Now, let's talk about what Greg was saying and the issues with the offensive line because of the injury to David Bakhtiari, who just got paid. Congratulations, and thank God he got paid before he got hurt. 4 years, $104 million. But let's talk about the 3 games he's already missed this year, because a lot of people hear offensive tackle injured. Uh-oh, maybe the offense is going to be different or not. Let me tell you what happened during those 3 games that he missed because of the broken ribs earlier this year. Aaron Rodgers, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 130 quarterback rating, and only 2 sacks. Why? Because the best pass protector is not an offensive lineman. It's a decisive quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers is the right quarterback to have some issues up front and still go over and cover up those same issues. So I'm looking at this situation very simple. Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees, because let's talk about what Acho loves best. If you want to determine outcome, the most important quarterback. Thank you. Quarterback. Drew Brees, since returning from injury, how's Drew Brees look since he came back? 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a sub-57 completion percentage. The Saints have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Hey, all I'm saying, see, I was just going to give y'all a little entree. Lied to me. And y'all want to do that. My point is, this one looks a little different. You dive a little deeper into the matchups.
When you can't kill them with facts, when you can't kill them with stats, you resort to comedy.
Who, me?
No, myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm fighting somebody throwing a life raft. Marcellus Wiley came out here throwing haymakers. Now, my only question is this.
Yeah, let's go.
Because I came on this show, and now my issue at hand is simple. I don't know if Marcellus Wiley's takes are his own, Greg. When Marcellus Wiley says something good, I don't know if his takes are his own. Because Marcellus Wiley, he borrows takes. But then I was like, okay, G, I still got you. You're a real man. You're a transparent man. Everything we see from Greg Jennings, it is his own, it is authentic, it is creative, and it is original. I thought G was with me.
Greg.
But then I caught wind. Greg borrows and steals too. America, this outfit was Greg Ford that he stole from T.O.
What are we doing?
Greg came on the show. I said, Greg, you look so good, Greg. Greg came on the show. I was bowing. I said, Greg, let me kiss your feet, Greg. Greg came on the show. I said, Hercules. I ain't never seen nobody like Greg before in my life. Then I realized Greg is no better than Marcellus. Thieves, America. Thief. Stop. Arrest these men. Stop. Thief.
Let them wear our gloves. I was wondering why they was in my ear so heavy. Acho next. This is what y'all want to do to me, huh? Hey, man. He's resorting to comedy. I got it. I follow. But I'm going to jump back to the question. He look clean.
We ain't trying to hear that. We ain't trying to hear that. Stop stealing.
8 teams got to win, and you're in this playoff scenario on Sunday. It's a great weekend for Sunday football. We'll tell y'all which team is most likely to fall short next.
Stop! That's messed up, man.
Get him. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The playoff puzzle is far from being complete. 8 teams control their own destiny with win and therein scenarios. Take a look at the 4 teams in each conference. The Ravens are the hottest team on the AFC side. You hear that, Acho, with a 4-game winning streak. In the NFC, the Cardinals and Rams will go head-to-head this weekend. So, Acho, which win and end team is most likely to fall short?
Oh, this is easy for me. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals, man. We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Really?
Head coach, that's why. It has nothing to do with Kyler. Got nothing to do with them dogs on defense. Man,
you jealous of that career?
Probably because he went to Texas Tech.
Oh, a little bit.
It's a little bit of jealousy and a lot of bit of honesty. That's what I look at. A little bit of jealousy, a little bit of envy, a lot of bit of honesty. When I look at Cliff Kingsbury again, Sal, if I'm a Cardinals fan, if I'm trying to deduce what might happen, I'm like, yo, you're 0-3 versus Sean McVay. You were 0-3 versus Sean McVay. So you haven't really won any meaningful games in the NFL. So, Cliff Kingsbury, let's go back to college real quick, where you were 35-40 as a head coach, but that's too lazy of a take. Everybody knows that. When's the last time Cliff Kingsbury won a meaningful game in college? I'm going to break this down for you, America. In college, you have to win at least 6 games to go to a bowl game in traditional years, not COVID years, 6 games to go to a bowl game. So, Cliff Kingsbury has been in positions where you have to win to be able to get extended play. But twice, he finished 5-7. Last game of the season, win and you're in. Just like this Sunday, win Cardinals and you are in. But twice, Sal, he finished 5-7. When he made bowl games, he's 1-2 in his bowl games. In his biggest games in college, he was 1-2. So when I'm talking about Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach, has a win and you're in scenario, he has not ever done that. So I don't know how I can anticipate that he would do that right now.
Oh, I'm going with the Bears in this scenario. Jealousy, huh, you said?
A little bit. Just a little bit. 5% jealousy, 95% honesty.
All right, respect that. I don't trust your percentages. I think it's a little more, or maybe flip them, because I'm going to stay not only on the field, but I'm going to stay in the NFL.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Bears, because they're playing the Green Bay Packers that need a win for home field advantage. That's fully motivated, and they're playing the MVP. Let's just keep it that simple. Damn, you're playing the best quarterback, and you're playing a team that needs to win to get home field. You look at them, they own them. I just talked about it last block. 10-2 against the Bears since 2014. But listen to these numbers. 30 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Lord. Hello. Any of y'all players still going to be on the field? Because that means to me instant success for Aaron Rodgers and these Packers. 7 of the last 9 quarterbacks that faced the Bears had 100 passer rating or better. What the hell? And then you're going to say that stat and then say, oh, who you play next? Aaron Rodgers. Lord, do you know what's about to happen to these Chicago Bears? I don't understand your take, and I certainly don't understand how the Bears are going to be able to beat the Packers.
Let me ask you this. You said something incredibly wise, I think 2 days ago. You were talking about Max Kellerman in boxing, and you said, your former co-host, and you're saying how in boxing, sometimes it'll go to a ref, it'll go to decision. Yeah. But rather than looking at the scorecard, you would just say, who would you rather be? Who would you rather be in that round? Let me ask you a question. It's a tangent of that, but it still comes from the same nucleus of that train of thought. What would you be more surprised if on Monday, if I were to tell you, hey, the Packers lost to the Bears or the Cardinals lost to the Rams, what would surprise you more?
If the Cardinals lost to the Rams?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't be that surprised, but I would be surprised
if the Packers lost to the Bears.
I'm confused. I don't know what you're trying to tell me right now. What the hell are you talking about? It is Friday. Is it Friday?
I don't even know what day it is. It's 2021.
Happy New Year. That's all I know. Happy New Year. Let me get out of this. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy joins us. We have no idea how he's ending the week, but trust me, you don't want to miss it. That's next, and I'm going to figure out what day it is. Speak for yourself. What did you say? If they... Before we go, Uncle Jimmy is here. It's a new year, but how are you ending this week? Let's hear it.
Nights like this, I wish... How's my 2 favorite enigmas? What's up, man? What's up? Hey, man, did I hear one of y'all say, does Mike McCarthy deserve credit for the Dallas Cowboys' success?
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's like asking, does Ronald McDonald deserve credit for bringing back the McRib? Ronald McDonald ain't never cooked no damn hamburger no more than Mike McCarthy done coach no player on the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, that's facts.
Mike McCarthy just the face of the franchise. He just like Ronald McDonald, except he just in the flesh. Mike McCarthy, one of them things you put outside your business to do like this. Just try to get people to come in. Hey, man, Wally, you know as well as I do who the hell the coach of the Dallas Cowboys is.
Who that? Jerry Jones.
That crazy-ass little white man that be on the commercial with Shaq, and he paid for your swimming pool, and he married Anna Nicole. The General, Jerry Jones, you know who the hell it is. Hey, man, if y'all gonna give credit for Dallas Cowboys' success, you give it where it's due. You give it to Carson Wentz. You give it to Daniel Jones.
That's facts.
You give it to Tink Tink. And you give it to Dodo Haskins.
Talk about it,
that little dumb enigma. Because without them, would none of that be possible?
That's it for us. Happy New Year.